touchdown, Dalton Schultz. Stroud strikes again for 37 yards.
That throw was beautiful. Stroud rolls to his right, throws it back across the field to his left, and hits Dalton Schultz, who was about as far away as possible from Stroud in the front corner of the end zone. And he just put it perfectly there. I want to say Stroud has the best deep ball in the NFL, with Russell Wilson no longer being the Russell Wilson he used to be. I suppose that you could make an argument against his deep ball based off of the throw to Nico Collins, which required Collins to adjust, but Stroud was under pressure on that one, on the Texans' second drive of the game, where they only ended up with a field goal. You could also point to the moment where Nico Collins had toasted the entire Browns secondary by at least 10 yards, and Stroud just missed him. Some people said that they thought that Collins stopped running 100% in the middle of that route. Maybe that's the case, but it was a great throw. Excuse me, a great way to get open by Nico Collins there. But Stroud's got one of the best deep balls in the NFL. He's obviously one of the most careful quarterbacks in the NFL, given the touchdown to interception ratio he has, which led the NFL. And my question to you is, where would you rank him among quarterbacks? I'm going to sound biased doing it because I'm here and I'm watching him every single Sunday. But I don't see how you can put CJ Stroud right now on January 15th, 2024, any lower than number 3 among quarterbacks in the NFL, with Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow being ahead of him. I know there will be some arguments for Lamar Jackson. We'll see with Lamar Jackson next weekend. I still think we need to see a great playoff performance from Lamar Jackson before we're putting him in the same conversation as a Patrick Mahomes, as a Joe Burrow. And I think you could say the same thing for Josh Allen. Bills are playing very well right now, but the last time we saw Josh Allen in the playoffs against the Bengals, it wasn't great. He had that awesome game against the Patriots. He had that awesome game against the Chiefs. But with Allen, there's a little bit of inconsistency on that front that might be due to just the volume of games he's played in the playoffs. Obviously, he's played in way more than CJ Stroud. And for all we know, we're totally flip-flopping on Stroud after what happens this coming Saturday. But what I'm trying to tell you is that right now, January 15th, 2024, I don't see how any neutral or objective person could say that CJ Stroud is anywhere lower than 3 as far as quarterbacks in the NFL right now after what we saw on Saturday. Would have helped to maybe get a little bit of Bills and Steelers, which was supposed to be played yesterday. Obviously, the weather would have affected that game.
Have Josh Allen throwing 75-mile-per-hour winds and be like, see, he sucks.
Right, exactly. Would have helped our argument a little bit more. We acknowledge that. But I think Stroud's number 3. And I was surprised in tweeting this out. Obviously, there's a lot of bias with the people that listen to this show and where people are located, and for the people that follow me online as well. But for the most part, when I threw this question out on Twitter, @Gallant says, just about everyone thinks he's 3rd. There's a couple of people that say number 1. They don't care about what anybody thinks. Inside the Highway 99 Loop says @DX Texas number 1. Outside the Loop, top 3. Top 3 is, I think, a great place for him with the way he's playing. He's going to have to keep it up Saturday on the road.
We got Fant in at left tackle as this one goes to Brevin Jordan, the tight end. Makes a man miss and then shows off the speed. Jordan, pedal to the metal. He's gone. Touchdown, Texans, 76 yards.
I still can't get over how easy that was for Brevin Jordan. What the hell were the Browns defenders doing? there were a lot of Brown defenders between Jordan and the end zone, and they all ran out of bounds. And then they're so far out of bounds that I legitimately thought Browns players from the sidelines had illegally run onto the field trying to stop Brevin Jordan. He takes that to the house. Game was over right there, Shawn Mapes.
That'd be great if they did that.
Yeah, we haven't seen that in a while. I think Mike Tomlin stuck his foot out once.
But even if let's just say number 25, a cornerback wearing number 25 runs out, and then a cornerback wearing number 26 runs in to tackle him, I'm not 100% sure if people would notice right away. It would be something that on replay you would have to notice that oh, that wasn't Desmond King, that was XYZ who ran out there. But to the naked eye, it would just be oh yeah, he kind of overran the play and then came back in and tackled him. But yeah, Mike Tomlin, definitely a legend in the game. I think didn't Jimbo Fisher get out in the middle of the field during a pick six because he was yelling at Connor Wegman?
Probably.
I roughly remember
that sounds correct. There was a Seahawk player, Darrell Taylor, who last year ran onto the field mid-play to block for somebody.
That's funny. I get why they got rid of Pete Carroll, the senile old man, having people run onto the field in the middle of the play.
They're also in the 1954 Cotton Bowl.
I'm sure it happened so much in the 50s and 60s.
This involves Rice's greatest victory ever, Shawn Mapes. So Rice beats Alabama 28-6 in this game. Shout out to Rice's emphatic Cotton Bowl victory. But the game was overshadowed because Alabama was so mad that Rice was kicking their ass that Alabama player Tommy Lewis ran onto the field to tackle Dickie Magle in the second quarter as he was running away with the touchdown.
Dickie Magle?
That is a very 1950s name.
Yes.
Very 1950s. And the Mike Tomlin incident happened with former Houston Texan Jacoby Jones. Yeah. Our guy. Just kidding. Not our guy. I'm still mad at him for muffing that punt in 2011. They might have won that game if he doesn't muff that punt in 2011. Despite TJ Yates' best efforts. No offense. He was a rookie quarterback, but he almost threw 6 interceptions in that game. But if not for that muff punt by Jacoby Jones, Texans win that thing.
And then he pulled a Kevin Durant and immediately went to the Ravens.
And then won a Super Bowl with the kickoff return touchdown in the Super Bowl where Ray Lewis acted like he exorcised a demon. I touched him on the chest, and he ran up the field, and it was glorious, and it was amazing, and it was like getting away with accessory to a crime. I'm unfamiliar with that, though. I don't know where my suit is. I don't know why you got off topic there, Ray Lewis, but that's Ray Lewis, everybody. Some comments. It is the most interactive sports talk show in Houston. Poor Marine says, I don't want to sound super negative, but everything inside NRG Stadium while the game is going on feels forced or manufactured. There's no organic, real character yet, even after 22 years. The organic, real character doesn't come until you win. The traditions are installed while you win. You can try to make traditions happen, but they don't happen until you win. And people remember the winning times that you had and continue the traditions from those winning times. That's how I feel, at least. The Patriots were a joke when I started going to games as a kid. Now, all of a sudden, they have a bunch of traditions, and you think, they've been doing this for years and years. Nope, they started doing it while they started winning. This is how it works. The traditions begin now. And I like the idea of Texans, swarm, Texans, swarm. I love that. That was authentic and happened naturally in the middle of the game. The Journey thing, it's Don't Stop Believing. It's everyone's number one karaoke song. It wasn't Take Me Home Country Road, but it was Don't Stop Believing.
Country Roads is skyrocketing up the everyone does this.
Everyone does
rankings.
that.
Mr. Brightside too.
That's a song that Euros know, by heart. They don't even know what they're saying, but they know the words to that.
Yeah.
The other song that people do is Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 songs. But, okay, if you play it and everyone starts waving around their phones like a flashlight, I'm sorry. That is now an official tradition for the Texans going forward, much like it is for whatever reason to turn on your flashlights while they play Johnny Cash when Presley comes into the game to close it out.
You mentioning Don't Stop, or not Don't Stop Believing, what was the other one, the Bon Jovi one that you mentioned?
Living on a Prayer.
Literally, that was a Tom Herman era Texas thing that happened one night game when they clinched a Big 12 like a chance, or a ticket to the Big 12 title game, which they lost.
I was about to say, I don't think Tom Herman has a Big 12 title ring.
No, he did not. He had an appearance.
But you know what the best ring is? The next one. Oh wait, Tom's. No, wow. You hate to see Tom Herman fail at Texas.
What I'm saying is that night it felt great, but that is not a tradition. It was something that was a very cool moment at the moment, but hasn't really lived on. Hasn't really stood the test of time.
That is true. Awards. They do not stand the test of time. The thing that is strange about sports awards in professional leagues, and this is not unique to the NFL, the regular season is what you get an award for. But when you don't announce who gets the award until after a couple of playoff games are done, the award ages horribly. I'm trying to think of something that spoils as quickly as an award does if the player who wins it or coach who wins it loses. Guacamole?
Yeah.
Because, after a day of guacamole, it turns a little brown and you're like, ugh.
After, if you pop the thing at noon, at 6 o'clock, it's already
right. It
questionable.
turns pretty quick, which is a shame because guacamole is the absolute best.
Everyone has their Achilles heel, Paul.
That's true.
For guacamole, it is longevity.
It's so good, but it does not last long. So we're in a tricky position when it comes to the NFL awards, and they have their own award show. I think they want to have their own award show. I think you're a dork if you watch that award show. I think you're a dork if you watch any of them. You tune in after someone gets slapped in the face. Okay. Oscars, Golden Globes, Emmys, etc. But they're long performances. There's so many commercials. The people who are hosting they have their hands tied behind their back. They don't actually say anything funny. Everyone just loves smelling their own farts. So these things are dumb. So since the NFL is so obsessed with having an award show of their own, a la all of those, you don't actually hear who wins these awards until usually the weekend before the Super Bowl, if not the weekend of the Super Bowl the night before.
I think it's normally the Saturday before the Super Bowl.
Off the top of my head, it's one of those last 2 weeks.
It's a bit. All the sports ones are just massive. This could have just been an email. This meeting could have been an email.
I agree.
Just tell me who won.
That's how I feel about the NCAA selection show. Just tell me who made it. I don't need to find out.
Yeah, round by round
moment,
or bracket by bracket. Yeah.
But the problem I think for the NFL that they're facing right now is, since the votes for Coach of the Year and MVP and everything happened this past week, there is a chance that Kevin Stefanski wins NFL Coach of the Year over DeMeco Ryans after what the Texans just did to the Cleveland Browns. And it's going to look bad. It's going to look really, really bad. And I think you could also make the argument that C.J. Stroud deserves an MVP vote or two from somebody, but people might not do it because he's a rookie. So I wonder on the NFL's front if there's a better way to go about doing this so it doesn't look bad. And my first solution would be just announce who won the awards the week of. Just do it right away. That way, it's not going to age like guacamole if you just announce it right away. Like Lamar Jackson winning an MVP, but all of a sudden the Ravens lose one and done to the Tennessee Titans in the first round of the playoffs. It looks like a crock of bleep. It doesn't look like a crock of bleep if you do it before.
Or do it like how basketball, I know they used to, actually, I think they used to do it like this. Then they did an award show for 2 years, and then they stopped doing an award show. And then they went back to announcing it during the home game for the playoff team. You know, where, David Robinson, Hakeem Olajuwon, David Robinson got the award before they played the Rockets, in game 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
So that would be a way a way to do it where you honor them, honor Lamar Jackson on the field before round one or, between the first quarter or something. Yeah, do it like that.
Easy. This would be easy to do.
Or do regular season awards, postseason awards. But postseason awards would just turn into whoever won the Super Bowl. So
probably, but not necessarily. I'm with you, though, for the most part. NHL, actually, they do postseason awards. So my three solutions are, one, just announce the awards right away. Yeah. This isn't the 1930s where you're voting by ballot in the mail and it takes like weeks for the ballot to make it.
Peter King's carriage hasn't gotten to Roger Goodell yet. We don't know.
Exactly. So those are factors in the past, but they're not factors anymore. And if you don't want to do this where you announce the awards right away, you have to factor playoff performances into the awards or create separate playoff awards. One or the other, because this just looks bad for the guys who win it. It's a shame. Like, it shouldn't look bad for Kevin Stefanski. He did a hell of a job this year, but then the Browns got spanked.
Yeah.
And I think now DeMeco Ryans should win it, but going into this playoff game, I think it was really up in the air. Now it's not, but the vote's already been cast, and it could ultimately be Stefanski winning this award, and it's just going to look bad.
Yeah, I like either announcing it. I think announcing it before, just like, in that week before games, just do it then, or doing regular season, postseason awards. Factoring in postseason into the MVP would just turn into whoever won the Super Bowl would win MVP. Like, we already see that with the regular season MVP. All that matters is how well you play the last 6 weeks of the season. That's really all that matters. So then if you're like, well, now we're factoring in playoff success, it's like, well, congratulations. Joe Flacco just won the 2012 MVP award because he was awesome for 4 games.
Yeah, that would have happened back then.
and then it becomes like, then what are we doing in September anyway? Like, why are we? What are we doing?
Another great question. The awards are dumb, really, when you think about it. But if you're going to do it, there's a better way to do it. And I just offered the solution. Stroud played great. And in this game, at one point, he was getting MVP chance before he sat on the bench for playoff quarterback Davis Mills to finish things out.
Before he got benched.
Mills Mafia's like, finally, he gets his chance.
1 for 1 for like 9 yards.
Hell yeah. 9 yards an attempt. That's pretty good. I'm happy for Davis Mills. I am. He is not someone who should have been thrust into the position of a starting quarterback. I do hope that he's able to get a lot of money hanging out in the NFL. He seems like he's actually a good guy. He's just not a very good starting quarterback. How many guys are? It's a very difficult job.
Yeah, 6 of them, apparently.
Pretty much.
As I'm going through, when you asked the ranking CJ Stroud, you get pretty fast to the, like,
Dak Prescott,
Trevor Lawrence,
right,
Herberts, Jalen Hurts.
This is what you're going to start saying to yourself.
Kyler Murray.
Now that you have CJ Stroud and he's doing what he's doing right now, Shawn, and everybody here in Houston, you're going to start thinking every quarterback sucks. You're going to be like me. Like, we finally have a commonality here. Because as someone who grew up watching Tom Brady, I thought every quarterback sucked. And we're talking good ones, too.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Drew Brees. He was all right.
Right. As I've said many times about Drew Brees. I will continue to do it because I think it's ridiculous that he gets put in the same category as Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. I do. But Peyton Manning every now and then kind of sucks. Like, this is what you get to do now that you have CJ Stroud as your quarterback. And when you start doing MVP chants in the middle of the game, like, it's only going to happen more. After the game, I asked both Brevin Jordan and Nico Collins about the MVP chants. Here are the two of them mashed together in one piece of audio.
Rightfully so, man. I mean, I understand the NFL is big on, like, not handing the MVP to rookies, but, like, you guys just see what that dude just did to one of the best defenses in the NFL. Like, the dude is a beast, man. Like, I don't understand why he's not in the conversation for MVP. I honestly think he should be the front runner. I think he's having a better year than a lot of guys in the NFL.
Legendary, man. He's special. He deserves it. You know it? He deserves it, man. He deserves everything, for sure. There's one dude that's calm and collected.
I wish you guys could be, like, in the huddle and like, just around him, out, like, you guys media him and stuff, but the dude is unbelievable. Like how he moves, how he talks, how he just everything. You could tell from training camp that like he was a captain. He was the starting quarterback, QB1. Like really since like day 2, you could just tell like how he moved. He was unbelievable.
You say how he moved? You mean like when he's playing, or just like
no, just like walking around the locker room. Yeah, just walking around the locker room. How he just talks to guys. He's just a very humble, confident guy. When you have a humble, confident guy who just loves to work, man, the sky's the limit.
Love hearing Brev and Jordan talk. Honestly, can we get him on the show? I would love to have that happen. They were very complimentary. Obviously, they're going to be complimentary. They're his teammates. But no one was more complimentary than Case Keenum. This is from Peter King's Football Morning in America column, which is way too long and I'll never read. But if there are highlights that come out of it, I will definitely check those out. Case Keenum on CJ Stroud. Quote, I think he's going to be the best of all time. Like, he truly has the ability to be that way. I know it's very early to say that sort of stuff, but man, he does some stuff that is just out of this world. I've said this before, and he is my Lord and Savior, Tom Brady. But when it comes to CJ Stroud, who of course did have a holy lunch with my Lord and Savior before the year, and I'm sure like took a lot of wisdom out of that meeting. Like, you know what his favorite AFC South championship is going to be? The next one. But also, I see some of those, he can only do this, I trust him implicitly, traits in Stroud that I did in Brady. Long way to go. Lot of ground to make up as far as a resume, all that stuff. But with Stroud, you've got a guy who you should feel very comfortable with the Texans down even 20 points. That is how good he is, especially with the explosive nature of this offense. Stroud's the kind of person that should keep you watching even when this team is down 3 scores. Very few quarterbacks you can say that about. Obviously, you can say it about Patrick Mahomes. You feel pretty good about saying that with Joe Burrow. You can say that with CJ Stroud right now, and that is a Brady-like tendency.
You can say it for Trevor Lawrence because he came back against the
Chargers. Doesn't count.
So this has solidified me as I at first I didn't really care about Ravens versus Chiefs for the Texans. I didn't feel strongly either way. Now, give me the Chiefs so that we can start the Brady Manning level. You know, with who's going to be the next greatest quarterback of all time, Patrick Mahomes or CJ Stroud?
Yo, I'm so in. Oh, Shawn, you're here. I love this.
Yeah,
This is the kind of energy that I want. Irrational confidence where after one playoff game, we're talking about CJ Stroud as the GOAT. We're wondering if he's better than Patrick Mahomes.
Or Tom Brady.
Stop.
He only
Watch your mouth.
He only needs 34 more playoff wins to tie Tom Brady, all right? That's all I'm saying. I looked up his record because I knew it was ridiculous. He was 35-13 in the playoffs.
Hey, shout out to CJ Stroud stopping Joe Flacco from breaking Tom Brady's record for most road playoff victories. And obviously Tom played so many games at home, so it was a little bit more difficult for him to get more victories on the road than Joe Flacco, right? I'm making some excuses for him here, but thank you, CJ Stroud, for making sure that Joe Flacco did not pass my Lord and Savior. He's never going to get another opportunity.
The record is like 7, too. That's the funniest part.
Which is crazy. It's a lot. How did Flacco get 7?
Well, because I think they played on the road the entire.
That's true, right? There were three games on the road that year.
Roethlisberger's probably up there because they also made it from a 6 seed one time.
Probably, yeah.
Rodgers also up there. Wow.
Yeah. But again, Tom Brady played so many home games. It's the only reason it's even a
and CJ Stroud, the only reason it's even a conversation. He's never played a road game.
That's true.
Him and Patrick Mahomes have never played a road playoff game.
Has Mahomes never played a road playoff game?
Pretty sure he hasn't still.
Wow. That's interesting.
They're always the 1 seed.
That's interesting. Yeah, so I guess
maybe there's one I'm forgetting.
Assuming
did they go against was the Bengals at home? The Bengals might have been on the road. I forget.
No, I think that was a home game. I think both games against the Bengals were at home. Interesting. Anyway, I'm very excited. You should be excited too. This is a great day to be just a fan of football in this city. It feels like, and I said this on Monday after they clinched the playoff victory against the Colts, but I think we're a football town again. I think we're a football town.